On the phone with me is the one and only from Biloxi, Steven Palazzo, Congressman Palazzo. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning, Paul. And listen, I'm a Ford man, so if add me to the F-150 truck category.
Well, you've got to have number one, it's required that you have a pickup truck. You're a Mississippi politician. If you didn't have a pickup truck, you should be defeated immediately. So you have to have a pickup.
Hey, but look, let the record stand that I've been driving Ford F-150s since I was 15 years old.
Listen,
I'm not one of those opportunist politicians that go out there just join the NRA right before you qualify or something of that nature, or go get your hunting license right before you qualify for an election. I've had those since I was a teenager.
So have I. You have to have a pocket knife and a pickup truck if you're a Mississippian and a guy. So, and even female politicians like Amy Truck have to have a truck. So, Amy Tuck and a truck. So there you are.
Thank you.
Get
it right.
Yeah, there you are. All of this information out there. Al-Qaeda on steroids since the Benghazi attack. Senator Graham, over on the other side of the Capitol on Sunday yesterday, called the latest terror threat scary and said that an emboldened Al-Qaeda has been on steroids since the last year's deadly strike on the U.S. diplomatic post in Benghazi. He said he had a briefing with the vice president, and he said it's scary. Al-Qaeda is on the rise in that part of the world. So have you guys had any briefings on this, or what was the word from Washington before you left?
Well, pretty much every briefing that we go to, we cover the terror alerts around this country. And I've been telling everybody that I've had an opportunity to talk to that the world is not becoming a safer place. There are people out there that wake up every day that want to kill Americans, kill our children, and cause havoc, and basically destroy our American way of life. And I think this is a perfect example of how we handle Benghazi. No one's been arrested. No one's been put on trial on the American side, and for bumbling up this. And leading to 4 Americans being killed. But we've also haven't captured or detained anybody that's responsible for this, and we supposedly know who has done this. And they also see the fact that we're cutting our military. Our readiness is at all-time levels, low levels, that we're a nation that's been almost 12 years at war in Iraq and Afghanistan. We're tired. Our equipment's not in the shape that it should be. And then we have a commander-in-chief that has failed to lead this country when it comes to terrorism abroad.
You look at this, and again, and I mentioned this earlier, you've got the headline screaming, planned attack is big, strategically significant. Authorities boost security inside the homeland. Senator said most serious threat he's seen since a number of years, and some said the chatter goes beyond anything they've seen or heard since 2000 or 9/11. And then, as the story I just read, Al-Qaeda on steroids since Benghazi attack. And you hear all of those headlines, and then you think, okay, wait a minute, you got some people saying this is just to confirm that the NSA was doing the right thing and snooping on Americans. That's one train of thought. The other train of thought is, I don't know if Bush would have taken off and gone to play golf had all of these things been screaming the headlines. And you know what? I'm going to leave it to Susan Rice. I'm going to go over and I'm going to go play golf at Camp David. I don't know if that would have happened. So a lot of people out there, just by him saying, okay, I'm the head honcho, I'm not worried about it. I'm going to go play golf. Why should you be worried about it?
Yeah, but President Obama is starting to make the job of president sound like a pretty fun gig. I've been at this, being elected to Congress. I think I played golf once, and it was in a Wounded Warriors tournament. And I'm not much of a golfer, but I went out there and hacked up the greens pretty well. But you're right. But let's step back and address the NSA real quick. This I don't think that the government of the United States would actually fluff up a terror alert just to justify the NSA program. But the one thing the NSA does not need to be doing, and that is snooping on American citizens. We have a right to privacy, and we also have a right to our own liberties and freedoms. And that's what we did this past week, and what we're going to continue to do with the Pompeo Amendment. We actually prohibited funding to the NSA so that they could target American citizens, their emails, and their communications.
All right, well, speak to what your colleague did, Amash. in that controversy, and I guess you and Alan and Greg all voted against that amendment, and speak to that exactly why and on that controversy.
Yeah, see, that's what kind of baffles me. People seize on one amendment out of several. Before the Amash Amendment, we voted to defund NSA's spying program on American citizens. Now, what people wanted was they wanted us to get rid of NSA altogether, but NSA is important to protecting American lives at home. But they need to be focused not on Americans; they need to be focused on terrorists. And so that's what our amendment did: is it defunded the NSA. Now, Amash's amendment it went too far. It would, when you look the classified, declassified briefings that we've had, that it goes back to the fact that there's a lot of people out there that want to destroy the American way of life, and it is my constitutional responsibility to provide for the common defense of this nation at home and abroad. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I voted for the amendment to defund or prohibit them from targeting Americans. The Amash Amendment went too far, which I personally would make us less secure as a nation. But that's the amendment that I guess got blasted out on all the email accounts to subscribers and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, we have to protect Americans here at home and abroad. Yeah. But we also have to protect the Constitution.
I don't disagree with you. I think where the defining line is, if most people who are not viewing porn or viewing pedophile material, or people who are not doing illegal transactions, or people who are not dealing in drug, or people who are not dealing in possible terrorism, they don't care if you have your number, because you're going to be listening to the most boring conversation in the world. But if there is some reason they spotlight you, make sure it's a real reason. Here's where I have a problem with this whole thing. I don't want all of this data gathered beyond protecting me to use in the next political campaign by the Democrats, because all of that data mining is being fed to the Facebooks, from the Googles, and from all of these other places, the Twitter accounts, and all these people who support the Democrats and the president, to be fed into this massive center in Bluffsdale, Utah, to coerce and nudge me how to vote the next time. You know what I mean? If they stop it there, fine. But this data should not be available for political purposes.
Yeah, well, Paul, the NSA, does it to protect Americans, but commercial companies are already gathering and selling that information.
Yes, they are, and
to our political opponents.
It is scary because they're using this. And as a matter of fact, we had a story on yesterday Friday talking about the president hiring this administration hiring some behavioral scientist to nudge us in our behaviors. My God, Congressman, this is scary as hell. Can you hang on for a second?
I sure can.
All right, from Biloxi, where we're going to be very, very soon. I don't know if you've heard the news, but if you haven't, we will tell you coming up.